Remorse 781, and welcome to our first podcast. So today we have our three models, Shantel, Taylor, and Adiel. So some familiar faces for all of you. So since it's our first podcast, we just finished shooting our spring collection, which obviously I'm really excited about, but I definitely want to hear from the models and some other fellow plus size girlies on kind of like how they feel about spring and some of the challenges we face as plus size women when it comes to shopping for plus size clothing. So I'll share like kind of why I founded Amore, which was I was personally tired of finding things that didn't fit properly or that weren't fashionable, or I felt like my personal fashion identity was kind of lost. So that's why we started Amore. So what are some of your struggles?
One thing I liked a lot about the dresses that we shot today was the length. I think I'm 5'9". I don't even think I'm that tall, but I'm pretty tall. And usually just if I have like a bigger bottom, it tends to get a lot shorter, but the length is so good and I like coverage without it being like I'm going to church. So that was great, like seeing some dresses that were mini, but to me covered exactly what they needed to cover. So I really enjoyed that about a lot of the dresses we wore today.
I love that there's style to everything now. Like, I'm not just wearing like a big poncho looking dress or something that doesn't have shape to it. I'm feeling sexy in some of the plus size clothing that other designers usually would stray away from because we're bigger women.
Yeah.
But now they're actually doing more proportions and sizes and cool different fabrics and things like that. So I'm really loving that this season.
Instead of just like something like oversized and like thrown over you.
Exactly.
We lose our shape.
Yeah.
I want to feel sexy in my clothing. I don't know what other people want to, how they want to look, but I want to feel good. I want to tell a story with the kind of outfit that I put together. So I want to know that what I'm wearing doesn't just make me feel like I'm wearing a sack of potato sack.
Yeah.
You're not a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, you've got a good shape. And I think that is something that's kind of lost in the plus size community is like the designers, you know, in the past have kind of looked at it like, oh, they're plus size, they probably want to hide their figure. And we don't, you know, like we've got great assets. So it's like figuring out what you want to show off and like what you want to hide a little bit or disguise. And we're all built differently. So it is kind of finding that right designer, that right brand that works for you or tailoring it. Like Taylor's 5'9", I'm 5'9", and our pants don't fit the same. Like we can buy the same pant and it's perfect on you, and I'm still 5'9", but my legs are short and I'm hemming 4 to 6 inches off of it. It happens.
Yeah. I feel like, and I say this even with like one pieces like swimwear, I feel like my torso sometimes is either too short or too long, and like every designer is different. And I used to stray away from trying different fits and trying different designers because I thought it was like one size was the same across the board, and it's not. Every designer's size 14 could be different. And it's okay to like get rejected by clothes sometimes and just keep trying on like a different size until you finally get the fit you love.
Yeah.
And not like straying away from that. Because I think I used to be like, oh, one pair of jeans didn't fit, I shouldn't try on 2 or 3, but it could take me 7. And that happens to every body. Like, it's not just ours. It's something everyone has to deal with.
Goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But being plus size, I think we're just so, if it doesn't fit, the whole line's not going to
Yeah.
fit. Or the color doesn't look good. Or, like, it's what we've dealt with in the past.
To that point, I'm a size 16. Not every size 16 in every designer fits on me like I would like it to fit. And so I'm in a point in my life where I'm not afraid to go up a size. I'm excited when I'm going down a size, but I feel that same excitement now going up because it's fitting me better. It's like just because they have it in my size and just because that designer has a 16 that fits me perfectly, the next design 16 is maybe not going to fit me that perfect because it cuts different. And I think there's something in our minds sometimes when we think, oh, I have to wear the size 16, 14, 12, whatever it is, 18, 20, and this is my size. And if it doesn't fit in the size, I'm not even thinking outside of the realm of this size. But we do need to understand that things are cut differently. Designers, you know, they have their own fit models that even though that person is a 16, they're not my 16. So it all comes across differently. So I love the fact that there's ranges now and we are getting the idea of choosing according to our own body types.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that's a really good point because sometimes I think we do get in that mindset of like, okay, well, this is my size. Like, I'm not going to go up. I'm gonna get in this size.
Pour into it.
But
Yeah.
right, but I think at the end of the day, sometimes like if you do go up, you actually appear a little bit slimmer or like the
Yeah.
shape looks better
Yeah.
because you're now in the right size. And I always see women out that are full figured and maybe they aren't comfortable shopping for plus size yet, and they're like squeezing themselves into that extra large, and I'm like, oh girl, if you were just in a 1X, what that 1X could do for you,
Would do, yeah.
like you would look so much better. And then it becomes that like mental mindset of like,
Yeah.
look good, feel good. And I'm a firm believer in that. If you look good and put yourself together, it changes everything about your day. It's about how productive you are. It's about how you handle your relationships, how you handle your work, and that starts with your clothes.
But I think that's also where society has done us wrong, because when you go from extra large to 1X, you're in a different shopping area now.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the plus size. And I think our society has taught us like, oh, you don't want to go there. And there was never like cute, fashionable clothes there. So it's like,
Yeah.
what am I going to find there? A black tee. Like that's what we were like stuck to. So I think seeing like the lines now coming out, like we were all talking about this earlier, it's so cute. It's so like body fitting and just makes you look sexy and good. And they're bringing in the short stuff. And I think it's just, we have to accept that like we're going to look better and feel better.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so happy that fashion is like opening up to the plus size as not being like a
Like matronly.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
boring. Or
Yes.
boring.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah. Because I think it is. You want to find your identity. And I think, everyone's fashion identity is different. But being able to find what you get excited about is important. Like I remember going into my closet and looking at like the 50 like items that were black, and I'm like, what black shirt am I gonna wear today?
Yeah.
And
All
like
look the same.
literally
Yeah.
it was becoming the same thing, and my day was monotonous, my mindset was monotonous. And then as like going through a more process, it's like, okay, like there's all these fun colors, there's there's florals, and there's these romance, and it's like, oh my gosh, like that's me, like I can now express myself. And I think that's something that we haven't been able to do in a really long time.
Yeah. Clothes are becoming so much more expressive.
Yeah.
And you see that all the time. Like, we're in the future, We have all these new technology that they're putting in the clothing and making them so much more, extravagant. I'm a plus size woman that can buy couture now. Like, I can buy a couture outfit because they actually make them in my size now. Before, that was never a thing. You would see these runway shows and you would see people in the most gorgeous pieces. And we have access to that now, and it's a beautiful thing,
Like, what is something that you feel like is still missing from like the plus size shopping experience?
Ooh, wide calf boots. That sounds, that's very specific,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
I realized this winter, there was like one brand that was doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was getting pushed. Every single plus size influencer was posting the exact same boots, which was great. But I was like, I kind of want to be able to just get a pair of boots somewhere when I want them.
Yeah.
Or the ones that had wide calf were like not wide calf. Like they were, when I was at my smallest, they still wouldn't zip.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I was like, dang, I really want trendy boots, but I don't want to like spend an arm and a leg or have to shop that specific store just because it's the only one that has it.
And then every plus size girl
And then
wearing
everyone's the same
boot.
boots.
Same
I'm like,
boot.
no, give me a few options because like I love my boots, and if skinny jeans are coming back, I need boots that fit my jeans in it too.
Right, so you need even
So now
more.
even wider. I'm
Yeah.
like, where do I get those?
Yeah.
But
Cute socks, those like cute little boot socks.
yeah, boot
that-
socks.
Yeah.
I'm like, but no, nothing fits in the gap of my boots and my pant like legs. But
Yeah.
that was one that I was like, oh man,
It's a
I
very
really
relatable
wanted.
problem.
Yeah. I was like, I want some cute boots, but that was one thing I remember being like, oh.
I think like length of pants.
Mhm.
I mean, I know we've talked about this. I'm 5'3", and like, yeah, you guys saying it, like pants that I love on Taylor, I literally have to cut off 6 inches because that like it's this mindset of, oh, if they're a size 18 or a size 20, they must be 5'9" or 10. Well, it's not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
So I would love to see like a range of. I know they do like the short, regular, long,
Yeah.
but I think just kind of I feel like the short jeans don't look the same as the long jeans. They're not.
They just cut off like the
They
accent on
just
the bottom.
cut it off. They don't actually make the same template.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely proportions. It's,
Yeah.
You know, everything is proportion. And I think, you know, for petite pants, it should be scaled on a petite person. And I think there's this misconception that petite is small, but there's also petite plus size. And that needs to be addressed because that market is really hard to shop for. And I'm 5'9" and I got 4 inches hemmed off my jeans. And did it change the shape? Sure, a little bit. But at the end of the day, like the basic structure was there, and I think that's what's most important is making sure that the basic silhouette of the denim is still there, and that when they start with it, knowing that okay, this inseam is quite long, so if a petite person wanted to hem this, would the integrity of this silhouette still stand up?
Yeah,
I would like to see less floral. I love floral things, but everything doesn't have to be floral for plus size. You know, we can get into cool geometric shapes and we can get into fun colors, but I feel like sometimes everything has to be floral, and it doesn't. Like we can really start elevating plus size clothing outside of it just being one kind of style. So I love when I see Amore doing like all of these cool, like we had stingrays on that cool little see-through dress, and just doing different high and low shapes and different things like that really to accentuate our body types or to be able to bring new fun things, you know, to our ensembles. So I really want to see more. I want to see more.
That one you wore today that I was like, who would think to put that together? And it was so good. That it was like animal print and fruit.
Yes.
And oranges.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who does that? But
But
it's
then
so
on
good.
Camera, it's like, dang.
On her body, it
Yeah.
looked insane. I'm like,
Yeah. It was.
I wish I could be that creative.
Yeah.
It was like
Exactly.
really cool.
But I
hang
think
my
it's like
closet.
fun and whimsical.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that people have always been afraid to lean into. And they've focused on that, like, I always like say, like, I was tossed an oversized floral poncho for my like plus size life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? Are we trying to make me look like wallpaper? Like, what is this?
Exactly.
And it felt very old. It felt like something, you know, an old lady was gonna wear. And now I think there's, you know, there's updated florals now, especially for spring,
Yes.
leaning into that. And it's like this kind of like romantic period for this time. But
it's different.
But
like,
it's different.
This gives me like romantic, and I want to be like, you
Go to
know,
a
on
pretty
a
market.
date or like farmer's market or something
Yeah.
like this. If this was like a different designer or something that you would get from, you know, a different kind of fast fashion place, it would just be like
The cut would be so different.
so
Yeah.
different. It would just be a bunch of unnecessary flowers, whereas this tells a story and it's romantic
Yeah.
and it makes me feel ladylike and cutesy, you know.
and it gives you emotion.
It gives you
Yeah.
emotion. It literally evokes something. Whereas, like, I don't just want to see a
Yeah.
sheet with some flowers on it. You know.
Or even think like a few years ago, for sure, no one would have put like feather. Like I don't know the proper word for that. But
Yeah.
like I'm looking at the shirt right now that has like feathers on. Like you would have never seen that anywhere.
Yeah.
Especially
Not
not
for an
plus
everyday.
size.
Especially
Not
plus
for
size.
plus size.
Not for
Yeah.
plus
Yeah.
size.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you don't want to bring attention to yourself.
They would have thought they were like offending us.
Right.
But
Yeah.
no, it's such a cool
Especially
design.
that arm.
Especially your
like,
arm.
yeah,
Yes,
absolutely
yes.
not.
Because we all got something, and mine is my arm. So this I would have never. But now with some cute jeans and like just making it a thing, you know, it just brings out a whole different look. So yeah.
Like, how would you describe your personal style now?
My personal style now is, I think it's I would say it's fun, sexy, flirty.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I like
Because-
those three.
Can we steal this?
Yeah.
Because I love to be a little bit flamboyant at times, but yet I do have my own personal, like, cool, you know, chill vibes and pop in something that brings it out to being, like, fabulous, you know,
Mhm.
or pop in a cute little short skirt or short dress and make it sexy, or just, you know, putting on some jeans and boots and making it cool and, you know, having that feel. So I like to play around in that way. Yeah, fun, sexy, and cool.
I feel like mine would be elevated streetwear because I like layering, but I've loved jeans since I was little, and it's not for any reason specifically. I just feel like they're comfortable, which is the opposite of what people say about jeans. But I love wearing like jeans and being able to layer it with like a cool jacket or blazer or a really fun top, and then a cool shoe and a cool bag, and just adding all these layers to jeans. And there's now a million different kinds of jeans, which helps.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the skinny jean, it's like the wide leg, the ones with ripped jeans, you know? So for me, like, if I could wear jeans every day, all day, I would.
Like that's like your wardrobe starter.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the
What
slate.
jeans am I gonna wear?
And then like how do we mix and match that?
How can I wear all the other things in my closet with jeans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean, I'm in like my mom era, so I have to be able to literally run from work to practice, and so I am in kind of like the bigger tee, biker short, which 2-3 years ago I never would have wore shorts. I mean, did not wear shorts. I went to Florida in jeans. Like that's all I brought. But then I'm also loving the date night. So it's when I'm not with my kids, I want a beautiful outfit, elegant but also sexy. Like, so yeah, it's just, I don't know what you would call it, but like,
Yeah, you need something versatile.
Comfort and sexy and versatile. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Comfort chic.
That's cool. Thank you guys so much for this conversation, and we'll come back to you more with some more 781 chats.